let's review it. So this is awesome. They changed the opening. I love that. They were like, whatever, it's villain time now. Yeah, that was the best part of the episode. Just immediately in the opening, they're like, no, it's my villain academia now. Yeah, it was really good. That's fantastic. They just like remove the opening. I do wish though, as I said during the reaction part, right? Honestly, that if they'd done that, there's obviously way more cost, for the company, right, to do it. But it would be really good. It would be so good, right, if they changed the opening completely. Instead of having Deku unit walking down there, it would be Shigaraki instead. It would be Toga instead of Bakugo and so on. Come on, and then of course Dabi instead of Todoroki. That would have been perfect. That would have been that would be perfect, man. Like if we exchanged Todoroki with the Dower, but I mean. Dabi, TOYA, whatever. Yeah, that would be perfect. Changing like the fire guy with the fire guy and so on. But unfortunately, they only changed the title and so on. But still, come on, that would have been amazing. Like a bad guy opening. And I mean, it could be the exact same animation, right? The exact same scene. Just having the bad guys doing it instead, jumping around in the same place and so on. But still, though, really, people are dead. There's all this enhanced people that died and so on, right? So he has this really morbid backstory. But as I said earlier in the reaction part, I do feel honestly that I would rather see, Best Girl Toga and so on. No, but the thing is that this kind of gave a little more Shigaraki fleshing out, right? But I don't really feel that changed my opinion about him as the character or so on. I mean, it's kind of what I expect, right, for him, right? Yeah, it's kind of like we can't really know that he was picked up by on the street and this stuff. So it's a little bit like, okay, yeah, you kind of extended that scene a little bit, but not. It doesn't really change anything, I guess. But it's a good part, though. It was very quick, though, so it doesn't matter that much. I'm just saying that I would rather have something with like a daughter character stayed, maybe Toga, right? Yeah. And when Toga is like, I love everything. I love Ichiko. I love everyone. But this training, interesting. I wish they to really make it a villain academia, though. To pick up someone new. So this is like a training offer for them, right? They have this, it definitely reminded me straight up of Gohan, right? Yeah, Piccolo Gohan. In Piccolo, spoilers for Dragon Ball here, if you haven't seen Dragon Ball, right? Dragon Ball Z, yeah. Of course, Piccolo takes Gohan, right? Throws him out in the forest, basically, or in the mountain, whatever you are. And he's like, just train boy in the wilderness, and I pick you up when you're stronger, right? This kind of is the same thing. He's like, fight this giant guy in the wilderness. We hope you survive. It's very much that training strategy where you take the kid, right? You throw them in the water, like you want to learn to swim? Learn to swim or you die, right? Yeah, whatever, you survive. Push the bird out of the nest, hopefully it can fly. So, of course, the villain training arc is like, we're just gonna fight. And either you die or you don't die, and you get stronger. So they have that kind of strategy of we're just gonna train you by surviving. So yeah, that definitely is an academia but I love it because it definitely is. I mean. It definitely is an academia in the sense of like a villain academia. Yeah, they're taking that survival of the fittest thing, right? And being like, okay, you're gonna survive or not, right? And if you survive, you're good enough to be a villain. Yeah, and they have a little more tough love strategy, bad stuff. I mean, I like the episode, but it really feels like because I am only right, and it really feels confusing. I mean, almost like get what's happening. I'm like. Is confused the right word? I mean, of course I understand what's happening. They have the bad guys, he's not a bad guy, he's like threatening them, forcing them, taking the fingers and so on. Obviously I understand everything that's happening. But it has this weird story bits because I know that this is supposed to be earlier, right, in the anime. People keep saying it every week. But it's just so obviously that it's changed. They have so obviously changed the order of events in the anime. Because this just doesn't make any sense. From the general perspective, from the you know how it depends on how you look at it, but I mean you can argue it's like a flashback, but we already know they're gonna team up, right? We have seen the Hawks bit too much, so we have seen Hawks of course hang out with both the Liberation Army and obviously the villains, right? The villain academia people. So we've seen them hang out and so on. We've seen Hawks and Twice and so on, like that episode. And now we're kind of seeing how they met him, and like I haven't read the manga. But it seems very obvious to me that this scene is supposed to be 10 episodes earlier, right? Something like that. And it's it's weird. The episode itself isn't bad, right? The episode itself has no issues, but it feels like it's placed in the wrong order, right? Yeah, like there's nothing wrong with the episode in a vacuum, right? But the episode is like, oh, why is it episode 20? It's probably episode 9 or something. Like that feels this feels really. The word I'm coming up with is confusing, right? It's confusing, but maybe it's not confusing in the sense that, like, it's not confusing as an episode, right? It's confusing on the meta knowledge, on the knowledge that, well, this feels kind of out of order. Like that's, yeah, it's not that the episode internally is not hard to understand what's happening. If anything, the problem is that we know too much as an anime only, right? Yeah, that's the problem. Probably more. It's like we know how it's gonna end because I already seen the old episode of the anime, and the old episode of the anime, they were showing me stuff that happened in the future of these things. So it's a little bit like, it's more like I know too much, like a perplexed situation where we have all this future knowledge that I don't think you're supposed to have in a way. So it is strange. It is really strange. But anyway, so this guy, he's really evil, right? He loves his finger stuff. He's like, oh, I took a guy's finger and sent them out in the city and so on, or in the country, and threatening them to join him, right? Because you know they're gonna join him again. So that's a little bit, and it's a satellite. So he's the rich evil guy. Yeah, this is company. It's more than one company, but it's actually one called Black Sky, which I love because it's almost Skynet, right? Black Sky is a company that actually makes spy satellite, basically, or like satellites to spy, or also to gather the data, like following different events on the planet, like, oh, here's little people moving from X to Y and this to on, right? Anyway, it's a company on the Nasdaq, right? But anyway, this guy is kind of like that. He's like, oh yeah, I own. So he's basically Peter Thiel. He's Peter Thiel in. I see who he is. He's Peter Thiel. Yeah, he's Peter Thiel in My Academia. He's like, oh, I own this satellite company. We can spy on you from the ground. Yes. So he's not going for him. But I mean, I guess theoretically, it actually would work. We don't have that today, but this anime, of course, is like somewhere in the future, right? So yeah, you might have a super advanced satellite that can actually zoom in on people, just a few individuals. I suppose it makes sense in like a futuristic satellite powers. But anyway, so he definitely comes in from that, I'm the business bad guy. Yeah, like we have spent a lot of time building up and so on. I like that scene where then building up some companies, and he reminds me of example of Palpatine, right? Yeah, Star Wars, of course. He's all like, oh yes, Federation and trade agreements, and so on. Yeah, that kind of bad guy, right? Kind of sitting in the background, in the shadows for years, and makes money, and somehow it's corrupting society, right? Eventually, and of course he has all this, like, talking about this cells, right? It's 110,000 people. A little fun, as I mentioned, though, when he's like, well, we can attack them. They have 100,000 people. It's like, yeah, but I mean, they're spread out across the whole country. If you attack their headquarters, there can be that many people there. It's not gonna be everyone there. It's gonna be like a few people that place, right? But yeah, he's clearly building up their strategy here to liberate people's quirks, right? For many years, right? And mostly making money, I guess. Building up some evil corporation, right? That might be something they dwell on later on than in the anime, right? It's an interesting effect, right? Because if they defeat this, I've heard about it before, but I just realized something right now, right? I'm focusing on this thing, but after they defeat the Liberation Army, won't that set Japan in a huge issue? I mean, because if this guy is like this megalomaniac, super rich guy, right? That owns a lot of corporations, and his people are working with different business sites and all this different stuff, right? If they imprison all these like CEOs, shit like that, right? Would that cause like a huge economical crash for the country? Because this guy is like, oh, I've been owning the company, I have satellites, I'm the richest guy in Japan, basically. Yeah, it's probably gonna cause huge ripple effects. They probably won't matter in that. They probably won't address that. But I'm the bad guys say like, yeah, this is gonna crush them, freaking losers, right? They're going to use our name and gonna kill them all. It really feels like they're doing the exact same thing they did the last time they were working together with a bad guy, right? Because the Yakuza, yeah, he's like, oh yeah, you want my name, you want my help? Oh yeah, sure, I'll send you these people to help you. They're like, yeah, kill them. Like, backstab them if you have the chance. It feels a lot like they're gonna join up, right? As we kind of know already. And then they're gonna betray them. I feel it's a very classic Mr. Hans, and so on. Yeah, they're gonna join up with them. And then, of course, Just backstab them, right? When they have the chance. That really feels that they're going for this angle again. I mean, it's kind of their memory. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. We love helping out other bad guys, right? And then when the Liberation Front is gonna start fighting whatever, Deku, right, whatever, right? Toga's like, I'm gonna help you to win. That seems to be where this is going, definitely. Certainly they're gonna fight the good guys to some extent as well, but I think they're gonna help out with the good... yeah. I really expected these people to help the good guys in the end, right? Just generally helping them, because they're like, oh, these bad guys took the guy's fingers, you know? Yeah, like twice, it's like, he's a great guy, he's like my friend, like my best bro, right? It really feels they're gonna go into that like, oh, you took my best friend's fingers, right? But yeah, apparently, yeah, people said Erasure cut out a lot of stuff, right? It is... yeah, the bad stuff here. It is a weird episode in that sense, right? Missing an order of events and so on, right? And I keep saying that, but I really wish, kinda, that I said the manga, right? But I'm gonna read the manga when it's over. Now I just feel like I'm gonna experience this thing through the end of the season of the anime. Used to be like, well, I'm gonna just, you know, I don't wanna have it, but it's kinda like, I guess I'm gonna go through the event flow, right, of watching the anime this season at least, and then compare it instead of kind of watching half the season and then it's like, okay, I'll screw it, I read the manga instead. But I'm gonna see through. Yeah, I'm gonna see through the end. I mean, we kind of almost there, right? 4 episodes left of the season, and after that, I definitely read the manga, and I'm gonna do some video when I probably complain and say the manga was better, and you know, super annoying, the classic like, oh, the manga, the source was better, but. Yeah, there is so much stuff you feel that you really feel in this season, right? That it's like, this doesn't make any sense. I mentioned earlier the confusing order stuff, and you can, even if I don't know what is missing, you know something is missing. You just kind of feel that, right? And I know some people are always like, oh, that's bullshit. As an anime only, you can never tell that. I think that's completely, I don't know, a lie. Why those people have zero awareness? There've been so many animes I've seen in my life where I can clearly know that, but this is clearly like a filler, or this is clearly like, order events, or this is clearly a censorship. It's obviously you pick it up, right? Sometimes I read a lot of mangas too, but I don't know if the manga can be light novels or whatever, right? But this season is so incredibly noticeable that they have so many weird stuff going on, right? Like the constant recap right in the beginning, and the filler stuff and so on. Yeah, that is obviously very, very slow paced. Several weeks of missing episodes and so on. But whatever, I didn't point earlier. But yeah, this episode, as I said, I think it was a great episode, but it feels like it's supposed to be aired 10 weeks ago. Right? It really feels like it's supposed to be airing before, kind of during the Hawk start or something. It really feels like it should be aired simultaneously when kind of the Hawk journey start or something like that. It really feels like it should have been before the Endower arc or so on. That definitely is like a meta knowledge that it seems to be completely out of place, right? But the episode itself isn't bad, right? It's just like you're really like, there's something weird going on, and we see how it pans out. But one thing I think about last thing is that it's not that many episodes left, right, of the season. It's not that many episodes left. I don't know how long this arc is supposed to be, but it feels that they're gonna go really high pace now because I don't think they're gonna like make the half the arc, right? They're gonna have to like finish this arc in like 4 or 5 episodes. So I guess it's gonna be really quick. I can take a quick check on that. Just how many episodes left is it? Let's go to the live chart. I just wanna see how many episodes left actually. 25 episodes. Okay, so it's 5 episodes left now. It really feels they're gonna super speed through this, huh? That they're gonna go maximum velocity right through this arc. Whatever, that's my limit again. I think it was a great episode, but the episode feels completely out of order. It feels really weird in that sense. Great, but it's like, should it be earlier? And it feels noticeably weird. And then guys, subscribe to episode 1. See you guys later today with Course of Good Revenge, Realist Hero, and of course, I think it's Yaya today. I heard it was delayed, they haven't checked out yet. Maybe it's Yaya. With Yaya today. And tomorrow, of course, One Piece is on, right? I think Yamato is gonna come this episode. My favorite character of Wano, so that's really good if Yamato comes. But I'll say one thing here. After One Piece is another pirate anime that started last week called Fena the Pirate Princess. It actually was really good. Okay, if you haven't seen Fena yet, check it out. It was actually it was seriously one of the best anime this year. Immediately, I was like, man, this is just the animation style, amazing high quality. The jokes, the pacing, it was like a perfect episode 1 and 2 because it wasn't like super funny, right? But they had every joke I felt landed, and the action looked amazing. So I was like perfectly paced episode 1 and 2. So that's the motto after One Piece. Both pirate animes airing like almost at the same time. So I'm like double pirate anime, I guess. But honestly, that was arguably the best anime in the season. FINNALLY. Honestly, 2 episodes, of course. It started last week, but it was just like the perfect direction. It was just super high quality from everything. So anyway, tomorrow, I'll see you guys and have a great